Hi Cancer, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-December 2025 love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, it's horizontally and firmless. It's what I call the bridge and a gap spread. The way it works is I look at the past, present, and future energies between you and the main love interest. Then we'll pull oracle cards to help with the bridge and the gap dynamic. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's a way around your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Five of Staves. So this is Leo energy here, the equivalent of the Five of Wands, and sometimes this could point to an energy of competition. Now, usually it's not always based out of ego, sometimes it really is something that's meant in a more playful way, but, it could just escalate from there. And especially with the artwork in this deck, if we look at the two guys in the card, if we get that to focus, we could see their facial expressions look actually like they're, a bit more playful, whereas the feminine energy looks a lot more serious, right? So it could just be one of those things where there might have been an attempt at maybe some light, playful flirting, and it just might have rubbed someone the wrong way. So if you were the one toward them and they rubbed it, and they took it the wrong way, or vice versa. That's why I see there. I do have to say it seems more likely it might have been you who took that the wrong way based on the cards I'm seeing on your side. Past energy on your side, we have the Lovers. So this is Gemini energy here. So pretty big contrast, right? Where, like I said, it seems like looks like there's an energy of feeling uneasy and the connection in the past on your side, whereas here it looks like they're very comfortable, right? They see a lot of potential in the connection, so definitely looks like there was a disconnect in the past for sure. Present energy on your side, we have the Nine of Staves, so Sagittarius energy here, and it's definitely an energy of feeling guarded. So again, like I said, I feel like there might have been something as far as a discussion that the two of you might have had, or whatever the case may be, where, again, I have the feeling that something about it might have rubbed you the wrong way, but I feel like you haven't necessarily expressed that at this time, so it might not even be something this person's aware of right now. And supporting that argument on their side in the present, we have the Sun. So another indicator here that they seem to be thinking that things are going really well. They see a lot of potential in the connection, right? They see things moving forward and feeling good about the future. But again, like I said, it seems like you're very guarded around the situation, and I feel like it's primarily because, again, there was some kind of misunderstanding possibly in the past or something they did that bothered you, but you're not necessarily telling them what that was about. Future energy on your side, we have the Five of Coins. So Taurus energy here. So yeah, if we look at the artwork, right, it looks like she's moving away from the cards on that side. Definitely a stormy type of environment, right? So yeah, I feel like this is ultimately saying that for a lot of you, you might ultimately decide to move away from the connection, again, feeling like you're probably contributing more to the connection than the other person is. But yeah, like I said, it just seems like there's no direct communication on your part around these issues. It just seems like you eventually decide to leave. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Knight of Swords. So Gemini energy here. And yeah, this could just be another indicator of, like I said, maybe something about the way they communicate might rub you the wrong way. But again, I feel like there might not be an awareness of that on their part, right? So if we look at the artwork here, right, we see the sword, which could represent communication, and then you might think that there's a sharpness to that communication, but we also see there's like a bunch of feathers resting on it, right? So to me, that says that it could just be one of those things where their delivery might come across maybe more harsh than it's actually intended, but I feel like there's a lack of awareness of that on their part. So they could say things, and, to them, they think that everything's fine, but maybe the people on the receiving end of what they're saying are bothered, but again, until it's brought to their awareness, right, they could just be a cycle that repeats. All right, and bottom of the deck on your side, we have the King of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. And yeah, if we look at the artwork here, right, we see the back turned to the cards on the side, holding the cup. So I feel like this is saying that your feelings for them are still there, but again, it seems like for whatever reason you're reluctant to express those feelings and just seemingly to communicate with them in general. I mean, we did say potentially why, right? If something about their communication style rubs you the wrong way, then that would be the why. But again, I feel like the main takeaway here so far is that it seems like unless that's brought to their awareness, it would just continue to repeat. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have Justice. So, major arcana card for Libra. So, yeah, so to me, this says that I feel like this is saying that if you would bring it up with them, they would be willing to address the issue. But with the blindfold on there, right, I feel like it's just saying that it's, they're oblivious to the issue right now. So, and I mean, for some of you, like I said, you might ultimately just decide to cut your losses and not even have that conversation with them. But if you're doing that with the thought that you don't think bringing up would go anywhere, from what I'm seeing on the side, it looks like they would actually address it if you did bring it up. We'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mixed over, so we'll see what we get from the Messages of Love Oracle card deck. I'm just going to give this a few shuffles. Okay, we will take this card. And next we'll do the same thing with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So I'm just going to give this a few shuffles now. Alright, we'll take this card. Take a look at the Messages of Love card first. Alright, we have forgiveness. It says forgiving yourself or another will help you move forward. So interesting message there, right? Because like I said, it seems like something from the past seemed to have rubbed you the wrong way to the point where, like I said, in the future, it looks like you just might be willing to walk away from it. But like I said, it does seem like if you were to just address it with this person, things could go well. But we'll see what the Wisdom Oracle adds in mix. All right, we have the Fates. There's the artwork and the number 17. So we'll see what this has to say. All right, the relationship message says other people are who they are. You can't change them. The challenge is to accept them as they are and not try to make them otherwise to suit you. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit your view of how they should be so you can remain in the relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are, or whatever is happening between you and them in this situation, is perfect from the perspective of spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change, even if it means that you honor yourself, spirit, and the other person by moving on. Love unconditionally. For each of us is on our own journey, and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is indeed fated, and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, right? Because for some of you, that somewhat supports the energy of saying, yeah, maybe you would ultimately have to walk away. But the only thing I'm seeing here that I would say is, again, like I said, I feel like I would at least make the attempt to bring this to their attention first, right? Whereas, like I said, it seems like for a lot of you, you're not doing that because, again, I get the energy that this person just seems to be oblivious that there was even anything wrong, But hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there. I hope you have a good New Year and holiday season. Bye.